Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Ooh, y'all, this little white girl here killed 3 people in 2007, a mother and her baby and a grandmother. She pleads guilty, could have gotten 3 years in jail, and said the judge gave her 3 years probation, and she can get her driver's license back in a year. Here's a picture of Zoe Reardon. Wonder where she's gonna go to college. All right, go to our panel here. Now, this reminds me of the story in Fort Worth. Same thing. White boy, got money, okay, he kills a couple of people, acting a fool, drunk driving, and the judge, you know what, we're just gonna go ahead and give you probation. Monique, you're a lawyer. I know you defend people. Is this class or is this white girl privilege? What is this? Is this white girl rock? What's this?
Well, look, it's color. Obviously, it's different than what we saw here in that you can see similar situations, same crimes or lesser crimes where people of color receive disproportionate charging, sentencing, punishment, and that's when it becomes very obvious. The fact that this was someone who was still a minor and the fact that it happened in front of this particular judge mattered. The fact that there were no prior offenses mattered. That's the way our judicial system works. The problem is it doesn't work that way for everyone. That's why you've got poor Jussie with a 16-count indictment. I know we're talking about it maybe later, but looking at upwards of 20 years for killing no one and having a crime perpetuated against himself if he did it, and you have a situation like this where people are dead and there will be no time served. So.
3 people are dead because she was texting while she was driving.
And I believe she got 36 months probation, which is really a slap in the face to the family. 36 months probation.
An infant child, I think, also.
Yeah. Infant child killed.
Yeah. So, again, I mean, we just see the imbalance of our justice system. And as painful as all of these instances are, I think it's really important for all of us to really capture these, to be very, very ready that when it's time to go to the polls that we're actually not only looking at the person, but we're looking at the policies that they're supporting as well. So,
I mean, she got the Paul Manafort hookup, Malik.
Well, I don't know if it's the Paul Manafort hookup, but
damn near close.
Well, Paul Manafort didn't kill anybody, so you know.
Yeah, he just defrauded up millions and millions. He only got 47 months, but she got 24 years. But go ahead.
Well, sure, but he still didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, okay. But she killed 3 people, and she actually gonna be free.
You know, there's nothing that I need to defend about it. You know, it doesn't. All of it sounds extremely suspect to me. We know the disparities in the system, and that's what people like Monique. You know, that's what we have defense lawyers who are out there, and I know many of them who are trying to do things to correct that type of imbalance. But this is what that is. You know, it's nothing to excuse or make any sort of apologies for anything. This is, you know, it seems suspect.
Eris reminds me of the white boy who raped a woman out there, the Stanford swimmer, and then the judge is like, you know what?
Brock Turner, right?
You have such a bright future ahead of you, Brock. Just go ahead and go home.
I mean, just even looking at a photo of the Cherokee County Judge Supreme Court. I mean, the Supreme Court in that particular area, it's not. Again, like, yes, it is terrible, but it's not entirely shocking. You know, we don't really have, I mean, there's still a lot of firsts happening. I think just last week, North Carolina just got its first black female
Supreme Court Justice.
Yes,
so Chief Supreme Court Justice,
Right, Chief Supreme Court Justice. It's not that entirely shocking. I think it just speaks to our larger point of having more people that look like us that are on
what really jumps out again is this is when for black folks who have to deal with this stuff every single day. When you see if somebody robbed something, came away with $5, it was like, you know what, you had a prior offense, so therefore you're gonna go away for 20 years and you killed 3 people. The same thing with the kid, white affluenza, the judge pretty much like, well, yeah, he testified saying, you know, he's had a rough life because they got money. I mean, you know, that is this thing and what it speaks to in this society. I look at people who criticize Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez when she talks about capitalism and she talks about wealth and privilege and money and power. The reality is rich folks, who mostly are white, buy their way out of stuff. That's why white folks still mad at OJ.
Black people do too.
No, hold up. Did you not hear what I just said?
I know you said
rich
most of
folks
them.
who are largely white.
But
Hold up, Malik. What that means is there are some few people underneath that who are black, who are Latino. But the reality is, if you start counting stuff up, white folks are still mad at OJ because he actually one of the few black folks who actually bought his way out of a prison sentence.
Well, sure.
And they still mad at OJ.
But the fact is that there are more white people in America anyway. But I think, and it is to go back what Monique said earlier,
Well, of course there are more white people in America, but there's also more white folks who actually have money and who use that money in order to get what they want.
Black people do too, though.
How many, Malik?
Lots of them.
No, ain't no damn lots.
Lots of them.
Malik, how many black people on the Fortune 500 list are the richest Americans?
Okay,
How many?
Well, I'm going to try to make it local.
4.
I can
Not 4. 4.
I can assure you that the opportunities that present themselves to the parents of our Mitchellville brothers and sisters out there in Prince George's County are not applicable to where I live in Southeast DC.
Let me help you out.
That's access.
Them black folks in Mitchellville ain't rich.
We're not talking about rich. We're talking about
let me help you.
access.
Let me help you. Them black folks here ain't rich. You know why? Because in 2007, when the home foreclosure crisis hit, how many of them lost their damn homes? You know what they did? They actually were making money.
Well,
hold up. Making money and being rich and being wealthy are 3 separate things.
But
just like Chris Rock said,
when
Shaq signed his contract, he said Shaq ain't wealthy, Shaq rich. The dude who paid Shaq, he wealthy. And so what I'm saying is,
those black parents, the kids of those black parents, they live in Mitchell. They live in Mitchellville.
Kids go to Prince George's County public school.
No,
they ain't going to private schools. A lot of them.
In this, are you kidding me, Roland?
Erica, go ahead.
Juxtapose Zoe with the Khalif Browder who passed away. He did 3 years.
Accused of stealing the backpack.
Never
3
years.
Never went to trial.
Never. 2 years of solitary confinement for being accused of stealing the backpack.
A backpack.
And then she only received 36 months probation.
She killed 3 people.
Those are the grave inequalities that we're
Well,
dealing with.
and Monique can answer this because she's an attorney herself. Because a lot of times when we hear these type of discussions, we kind of lump everything together.
And we should.
Just to ask Monique, is some of this about representation and having money to afford like really good attorneys? Does that factor at all into these type of things?
Right.
Which is also based upon money.
Another place?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things we've often talked about for several years on Roland's shows is it really is as much justice as you can buy, and that is a sad fact of our criminal justice system. It's also a territorial jurisdiction type thing, because what happened to Khalif probably wouldn't have happened to him in the jurisdiction where she got the 36 months, because there would be a system where you're not stuck into general population and then isolated if you're a juvenile and then, end up like protected by suicide watch. And then ultimately, of course, he took his own life. But what you're looking at, obviously, is, I agree with you, what money can do. And I agree with Roland, there's more money on one side. But I frankly see and I live what Malik is saying about access being at certain levels. And the more affluent black people become, the more we utilize our affluence for access as well. And I don't think that that's a bad thing.
No, I didn't say it's a bad thing.
I think the only way to kind of level the playing field is for the black people with the access to make room for other black people to come in.
And also,
so I'm always, and so that's why I don't argue against legacy.
No. And also,
come on in the room. I got an open door. Who's coming?
No, I argue against legacy when the same white folks who oppose affirmative action, who oppose remedies, don't say jack about legacy.
But not all white people oppose affirmative action, though.
Boy, damn it. Boy, really?
I mean, but they don't. Not all white people oppose affirmative action.
Let me tell you something.
Obviously, all white people don't.
Obviously, all white folks don't, but a hell of a whole lot of white folks do. But a whole lot of white folks in your party do.
Maybe so.
Maybe so. My ass.
Maybe so. I don't know what every white person in my party does.
Malik, we could see.
And I'm not here to articulate. I'm not here to articulate the Republicans' position on affirmative action.
Not the white folks whisperer, Roland.
Right. I'm not speaking for the white people in the Republican Party. But I do know that there are white people. There are white people who are supportive of affirmative action.
Yeah, there are few.
So there is no blank. I don't even know if it's a few.
But it's a hell of a whole lot of
there are a lot of white Democrats Democrats who are supportive of
But it's a whole, guess what? But there's a lot of white folks in your party
Maybe
who
so.
actually will not stand up.
Maybe
and
so.
again, I'm speaking from history. When Bill Gates was the president of Texas A&M, when I was one of the folks said, okay, you don't want to use racism and admissions, what the hell are you going to do about legacy? And then when he went out there and announced it, all them white folks at Texas A&M lost their damn mind when he stood up and said, you know what? Y'all don't want me to use affirmative action. We're not going to factor in legacy. Guess what? It was about, if you had 100 people standing up, 98 of them were white, one was black, and one was Latino. So that way you can't say all. Go on. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, of course, 2019, it is March, and we're getting close, of course, to beach season. It's almost time. I don't know, because in D.C., I know if I got one more day, I got to wear fleece and scarves and hats and gloves and wool. I'm going to have to cuss somebody out. But a lot of us are getting ready, of course, for the spring and the summer, and we're trying to get ourselves healthy, well, looking good, feeling good, and, of course, that means dropping some weight. And one of the ways you can do so is trying the D-Herbs Full Body Cleanse. They have 27 different cleanses that you can try in order for you to remove the toxicity from your body. A lot of the fried foods, processed food that we love, well, this is one way for you to also remove that and get you some energy back and stop dragging your behind around. Now, again, you want to lose those stubborn pounds, you can go to dherbs.com. That's dherbs.com. Use the promo code Roland when you check out. You can also call 1-866-4-DHERBS, 1-866-4-DHERBS. Using the promo code Roland. I've tried it 3 different times, and it's pretty good, and so worked out well for me, and it can also work out well for you. And so we certainly appreciate D-Herbs, black-owned company, being one of the partners here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.